Okay, so this is a story that showed up in my radar, basically. That I kind of want to go over really quick. It's just a short one, but I'm gonna do a cheap and plebbish video where I basically do this all in one take. The Hamilton judge who wore a "Make America Great Again" hat in court has been banned from trying cases. That's kind of interesting. Anyways, the Star, the Toronto Star, is a very left-leaning organization that has done some particularly egregious articles, I would say, in the past. Very social justice warrior style articles. This one, as far as I've read, I kind of skimmed it, doesn't seem to be particularly too bad because they're not really offering an opinion here. They're just listing some facts. So let's go through that. So Bernd Zabel, Justice Bernd Zabel, who declared his support for Donald Trump in court, has no longer presiding in court, according to a spokeswoman for the Ontario Court of Justice. And I guess my Audacity interface kind of screwed up here, so much for one take, basically. But whatever, let's just keep going. A Hamilton judge who wore a "Make America Great Again" hat to court the day after the U.S. election and declared his support for President-elect Donald Trump is no longer hearing cases. Justice Bernd Zabel, appointed to the bench in 1990, stopped being assigned new cases on December 21st, 2016, a spokeswoman for the Ontario Court of Justice told the Star in a brief statement Thursday. "I'm no longer able to provide other details. The Chief Justice is not able to comment further on this matter," said a spokeswoman, Kate Andrew. Basically, he had a political opinion. He decided to celebrate because, as we know, Canada, what happens in America is most important to, obviously, Americans, and second most important to Canadians, economically speaking. World politics, everything else, it's very important to Canada. 80% of our trade, our exports go to the States. We receive, I think it's like 20%, 40% or something like that. We are the land of energy, and the Americans consume most of our energy. It's very important what happens in the States, not just economically, but also, geopolitically, in other places, but very particularly important in the States as well as we've been screwed by NAFTA as well, and Mexico and Canada definitely want to come to the trading table to say, hey, fuck NAFTA. We're going to renegotiate NAFTA. So that's very important as well, is for background context here. So a Chief Justice, one of them, simply wearing a hat and saying Donald Trump winning the election is good, kind of a little bit of a celebratory, and actually, if we get into this, it's kind of trollish. It is obviously some, it's not particularly, it's understandable, and it's not particularly egregious. I don't think it's just an opinion. Everyone has a bloody opinion, and it's not him going out and saying, I suddenly support Sharia courts or something stupid like that, or I think that the Canadian Constitution can go fuck itself, or, right? The criminal code sucks a bowl of dicks. It's more just a guy saying, I agree with Donald Trump's politics and policies. And most of that he has no control over anyway, because he's just a court justice. He's not, and even then, it's like, if he supports Donald Trump rather than some of the other particular conservative politicians, it's a lot better, because Donald Trump is on social issues. I love LGBT. I love the Black Americans. I love the Latinos. It's only issues where immigration where you might get some in trouble, I guess, if you agree with Donald Trump's things with immigration. That's one thing that I can understand, maybe, where they try to really hit him hard on this one, and maybe terrorism. Waterboarding's torture. What else are you going to do? Anyways, at first reported by Globe and Mail, Zabel showed up for court the morning after the November 8th election wearing a red Make America Great Again ball cap. A Trump hat. Jesus Christ. The Globe reported that he then placed the hat on the bench in front of him. Critics said this showed lack of impartiality and crucial to the role of a judge. Ultimately, we're going to get into why he did this, but he's mostly trolling. Of course, you know, they show a picture of a Trump hat, like, you don't know what the fuck that is. Fucking retarded. Almost a week later, Zabel apologized for wearing the hat, acknowledging in court that it was lapse in judgment and a breach of the principles of the judicial office. He said it was his attempt at humor. Like I said, trolling. This gesture was not intended in any way as a political statement or endorsement of any political views, and in particular the views and comments of Donald Trump. I very much regret that it has been taken as such. So he says, oh, I was just trolling, it didn't mean anything by it. But the sincerity of his apology came into question when the Star obtained a transcript showing that Zabel explicitly said he supported Trump in court on November 9th. Brief appearance with the hat pissed off the rest of the judges because they all voted for Hillary, so I was the only Trump supporter up there, but that's okay, Zabel said just before court closed, according to the certified transcript. Now, this is where I really look at them and I'm like, what the fuck? Because all the other justices are allowed to, quote, vote for Hillary. But yet he is not allowed to wear a Trump hat. One justice is not allowed to wear a Trump hat. Or wear it into court, put it down, you know, just say, haha, in your face, 8 other justices, Trump won, kind of thing, right? And then say, Trump's awesome, Trump's great, wonderful, pro-Trump stuff. Don't you think, if we're going to take, you know, the whole Marxist, socialist, you know, diversity is a strength, don't you think we should take it to, you know, apply it to the diversity of ideas and pull off at least 3 more Hillary voting justices off the court and throw in 3 more Trump supporter justices? You know, I mean, that might be apparent, maybe. I don't know. I just find this ironic how he's not allowed to show his political opinion, but they are allowed to have their political opinion. People have political opinions, even justices. I'd rather them be open about them and try to be objective, you know, and not obviously say, oh, I was just trying to be objective, you know, like actually genuinely make a good fucking effort at being objective and simply be transparent and show their work for themselves. If he's been a court justice since 1990 and nobody's complained, suddenly now that he wore a Trump hat into court, are you fucking kidding me? So he hasn't had really a bad track record until now, until this media firestorm? Interesting. I find it interesting. Following the reports of Zabel's wearing the hat, a number of individuals and organizations, including the Criminal Lawyers Association, made formal complaints about the judge to the Ontario Judicial Council, which has the power to investigate judges, conduct and suspend them, or recommend to the Attorney General that they may be removed from the office. The council has yet to indicate the outcome of those complaints. So basically, it's in review process and nobody knows what the fuck's going on. It's clear that the office of the Chief Justice has to be taken the complaints seriously, said a lawyer, Daniel Brown, Toronto director of the CL. It's an important response given to the nature of the complaints and should continue until a full investigation is complete. Nobody gonna go do no dumb shit until they come to a ruling. It's gonna be completely silent. Nobody knows if he's actually going to be 100% removed, but he has been denied court rulings, probably because I would think primarily is the whole gender identity issue with Ontario courts. Is if he has to make a ruling on the gender identity, and you have literally Hitler, the fascist, is somewhat in his support in terms of his politics, that's, in their opinion, against, literally against the law, right? But of course, we have nothing to say that he would eradicate gender identity. That's another issue I have about Trump is the bathroom issues and stuff like that. He doesn't has no fucking position on that shit. So kind of annoying, but counsel with cases before a judge who's no longer presiding in court must wait for direction from the Crown's office, Peter Bushy, a Hamilton defense lawyer, noted, but declined to speak specifically about the Zabel matter. A case could be reheard or continued, or with another judge handling the proceedings, Bushy said. All complaints filed to the Ontario Judicial Council are assigned to a two-person subcommittee made of a judge and community member for a private investigation. So essentially, there's a very strict due process for this thing. Apparently, these judges did not think it was petty enough, that it was definitely important enough, whoever filed these complaints, to bring it about, but it definitely is a very rigorous process, and I do have some faith that simply wearing a Trump hat in court and saying, yay, Donald Trump won, because you really only have two picks. You have murderous, lying, crooked Hillary, email-deleting Hillary, or you have pussy-grabbing Donald Trump. I know I'm grossly over-generalizing, but let's face it. You had the two options. What are you going to do? Pick Gary Johnson? Aleppo? Ooh. Or Jill Stein? I demand a recount in states I have no fucking seats in. Fucking stupid. The report is then pushed before a 4-person panel for review. More due process. From there, the complaint can be dismissed, referred to the Chief Justice of Ontario, who will speak to the judge or examine in the formal public hearing. There's no timeline for when the panel must reach a decision. If a judge is found to have committed professional misconduct by the judicial court, possible sanctions including reprimand, suspension, or recommendation to the Attorney General that the judge will be removed from the office. So that's there's a very rigorous bureaucratic due process system. It goes through a lot of proceedings, especially to get rid of a judge, especially one that has a track record going back to 1990, where he has obviously not had complaints since then. It'd be different if it was like a rookie judge, and he's only been there for 2 years and he has 5 complaints about people having unfair rulings or something like that. That would be different. But here's a Reddit thread that I kind of saw. It's just a Reddit thread for Justice Bernd Zabel, and it actually has some links down here to genuine hardcore cases he had. There was one with convicting some bikers, and if anyone knows anything about Hells Angels and biker gangs in Canada, it's that they can be pretty violent and ruthless. These are some actual examples of tough cases that he had to preside over, that he did well. So congratulations, you're a fair judge. Holy shit. People are just mad that you support you wore a Trump hat. Holy fuck,